I don't actually think ambitious women no longer want to be ambitious because the women that I talk to still deeply care about doing good, meaningful work. However, what I think is happening is there is a shift happening or a reckoning around ambition and how ambition is being carried. So the question really is, can I want more without sacrificing myself? That becomes the question. And I believe in order to answer that question, you have to look at what ambition, achievement, goal setting, all of the things that come along with the title of being ambitious, what that means to you. So I started redesigning or reworking my relationship with ambition back, what year are we in? 2026. So, about 4 years ago, after my career burnout, I took a, I was in corporate leadership, 6 figure paycheck, 5 figure bonuses, all of the things. And I burnt out. And I took nearly a 1 year sabbatical to really heal and get very clear on what I wanted the next season of work to look like for me because I do identify myself as ambitious. I've been that way since I was a child. I'm the eldest daughter, so I feel like I was groomed for overachievement, high achievement, perfectionism, all of the things that I have now, due to burnout and hitting a wall, had to redesign for myself. So again, I did this during my sabbatical is when I started even having the thoughts of the ideas of, hey, I like working. I like doing good work. I like doing meaningful work. I'm a creative. I have so many skills in addition to my education and my degrees. So, of course, I want to work. So, when I was going back into corporate America or starting, kind of towards the tail end of my sabbatical, and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm not anxious anymore. I had gained so much weight, girl, during my burnout. I was like over 60 pounds overweight, and like I was unrecognizable. And the funny thing is, I chopped it up to like just getting older. Come to find out, dealing with my therapist, my doctor, all of the things, it was due to burnout that I had gained all that weight. But I lost the weight, got healthy during my sabbatical. And during that time, I was really able to just sit with myself and started asking myself the hard questions like, Erica, what do you really want? How do you want to use your skills? How do you want to feel in your body? What type of environments do you want to work in? And I just got really clear on what I wanted ambition to look like for me. And I also feel like there's like so many blind spots when it comes to ambition, like because we're like looking straight ahead, like go, 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 do, how much can we accomplish, that we're really not taking time to kind of look around, observe, come back into our bodies, into ourselves, and just start to like check in with ourselves to say, is this still working for me? Is this still aligned for me? Like, and then so many things that the blind spots of ambition tell us about our identities and how we're validated and just all of the things. So I was able to get really clear during my sabbatical about what I wanted my ambition and what I wanted work to look like in this next season of my life, because old ambition really asked for constant output, just like execute, lead, manage, manage, go, do, just putting all of that stuff over being honest with yourself, being honest with your feelings, being honest with your body, just being honest with what you're feeling. Like, I was so disconnected from myself, from my body, from the things that I enjoyed and I liked. I was just so disconnected, but that's what the world, how the world sees ambition, that's what it like required or called for in that season. It also called for just like equating your worth with productivity or how much you can produce. And of course, being a Christian, I understand that I'm worthy just because God created me. But when you're in those corporate environments, it often feels like the measure of your worth is behind how much you can produce. How many team members can you lead? How many projects can you execute? How much money can you make the company? Or how much money can you save the company? Like all of those things. However, and that feels really, really heavy. It feels really heavy. And oftentimes you don't even know you're in that space because you've become so disconnected with your body, or at least I did. If any of this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. But that level of ambition just isn't sustainable. And I also, came to that conclusion with burnout and, choosing to leave that job and taking extended time off from work. I was just like, this is not sustainable. There is no way I can work another 20, 30, however many years functioning like this. Like it's not sustainable. So that's also what took me down the road of rebuilding my relationship with ambition, taking small little actions, testing things out, seeing how it felt to me. um, Again, asking myself really hard questions. And then when I was ready to go back into work, finding work that aligned with how I wanted to use my skills, what type of environment I wanted to be in, what type of work I wanted to do, how I wanted to do good, meaningful work. And that was a position that I went into. That position has changed. And even with that, that has become not what it started out as. So I'm making some shifts in that area too, because in this season, what ambition is calling for in the way that I have rebuilt my relationship with it is healthy boundaries. I remember, I write about it in my book, but I remember in my corporate leadership days, girl, like I would wake up at 6 a.m. and immediately grab my phone to check my work email to see what was going on, see if anyone had called out, see if my boss had emailed me anything from the evening before. Like to me, that is insane. Like waking up, not like my feet had not even touched the floor, but getting up and answering emails before your feet even touch the floor. Like it's insane to think about. That's how I lived my life in corporate leadership for 5 years straight. So right now in this season, ambition is calling for, and I'm redesigning. It looks like having healthy boundaries around those types of things, like having a cutoff between when you're gonna, respond to emails, like how early, how late, and having that a firm, cutoff for me. That's what it looks like. Learning my capacity, and not only learning it, but being able to articulate that to the team, your leadership, whatever that may be, not just taking on more because that was an identity that you deeply connected with previously. Now for me, it's, hey, I I'm at capacity. I can't take on anything additional. If there is something that really needs my support, my level of expertise, my guidance. Let's talk about what can be deprioritized on my current workload, or what can be just completely taken off the list, because you have to understand what your capacity is, and capacity goes beyond just how much more work you can take on, or how many more team members you can lead. It goes to ask yourself the question, what deserves this level of my time, my energy, any of my resources? Like, really understanding what your capacity is and being able to articulate that when needed. Ambition now for me is deeply rooted in rest, and I'm not just talking about sleep. I'm talking about all types of rest: spiritual rest, social rest, emotional, mental rest. Like, rest is a part of my leadership strategy. Let rest is a part of my lifestyle strategy. Like, rest is a non-negotiable, and it is what is able to fuel my ambition now. Also, what this easeful ambition is that I call it, but just reworking your relationship with ambition and having a more sustainable approach to ambition is, I just lost my thought. Creative expression. Creative expression is deeply rooted in how my ambition is fueled. I'm a creative entrepreneur. So I use a lot of creativity for my work. So when you're using creativity, and this goes for ambitious women too, because you guys, me previously, and I didn't know this, that's why I'm having these types of conversations now, so I can share this information with women like you. But when you're in those corporate roles, you just do not know how much creativity that you're using on a daily basis. The way you manage, the way you lead, the way you execute, the way you problem solve, all of that is using your creativity. And no, it's not artistic creativity, but it's applied creativity, because at its basic definition, creativity is the fact of finding solutions using your imagination and things in a way that has not been there before. So when you're leading, when you're executing, when you're problem solving, that's using your creativity. But the thing is, that is all output based. It's all for responsibility, productivity, like trying to produce something. And when you're not refilling that cup that you've emptied out day after day, month after month, year after year, that adds to your exhaustion. That adds to you being tired. And ultimately, it will add to your burnout. So that's where creative expression comes in for me, like really doing things that bring me joy creatively. And I have tons of things that I like to do creatively. I like to paint. I like to cross stitch. I've just picked up puzzling. If you've never puzzled before, girl, it is so relaxing. It's something that I did not expect doing. I do a little bit of graphic design. I play around in style and fashion. Like, I do so many things. I like to um nature sketch. Like, sometimes when I go out for a walk, if I find like a cool looking plant or flower, I'll take a picture of it on my phone, and then I'll come back and like sketch it for fun. Like, I just do so many things. Museums, I love museums. I'm in an area where there's a lot of museums to choose from, but just pouring back into myself creatively. And let me just say this too, it's not about using creativity as a hobby. I'm not talking about that, because when you position creative expression as a hobby, especially for you ambitious women, you're positioning it as just something else I have to do, something else that I'm adding to my list. I want you to look at creative expression when you're reimagining your relationship with ambition. I want you to look at creative expression as a form of care for yourself. It's rest, it's restoration, it's care. when you position it that way, it moves up the level of importance. This just isn't some hobby that you're throwing on the side that you try to pick up every now and again when you have the time to do so. This type of creative expression or creative rest is for a form of care. And believe it or not, it works because it when you're doing something that genuinely brings you joy, it does something to you in your body, in your in the cells in you, in your DNA. It really does recharge you in ways that you couldn't have expected. And I also know sometimes when you've been wrapped up in your corporate career or building your business or whatever that may look like, you may have lost track of the things that brought you joy. And that's okay too, because now is the time for you to experiment, try new things, see how it feels. Like, just get curious, just be in a place of exploration to find something that creatively lights you up. I don't drink alcohol, but over the summer, I really got into experimenting with different mocktail combinations. And it was just so fun to be creative and experiment in that way for play. It wasn't about trying to sell something or trying to monetize something or trying to post something on socials. It was really about doing the things that bring me joy. So that's how ambition looks for me right now. Still achieving the goals, still working towards building the business, still navigating the 9 to 5, but doing it in a way where I'm not sacrificing myself, where healthy boundaries are there, where rest is centered, where creative expression is centered, and all of that allows me to continue to move forward in sustaining the ambition. So, how I want you to reframe this is it's not to think about you have to completely abandon yourself as an ambitious woman, or to completely abandon ambition. You just have to rework what that looks like. You have to redesign what that looks like for you in this season of your life where you still want to do good, meaningful work. Because we're not talking about we don't want to work. Of course, we want to work. We got things to do, things to build. It's about doing it in a way where you're not sacrificing yourself, you're not self abandoning, and you're definitely not working yourself into the ground. So, for the last couple videos, I've been coming up with some questions that you might want to ask yourself for deeper reflection if you feel like you're in a season like this where, what you want is starting to feel heavy. Another thing before I get to the questions, I mentioned this in another video, but when you start to shift how you think about ambition, especially when it's completely different from how the world looks at it, or how you start to look at achievement, or how you start to look at growth, people are going to judge you for it. They're going to try to maybe, like, how do I want to say, like, put you like on the outs, like, because they'll look at you kind of like, who do you think you are for choosing yourself? Who do you think you are for stepping outside of the matrix? Who do you think you are for not doing all of the things that we have to do? And I think that comes from a level of them not having the courage to choose themselves. So just be aware of that too, while you're redefining what this looks like for you, that people will start like giving you the side eye. Just be prepared for that. Just surround yourself with people you can trust. Drop down in the comments and talk to me. because I've been there, I've experienced it. I lost a really good friendship due to me choosing not to do things the traditional way when it came to work and ambition and choosing myself. So those type of things will happen. So I just wanted to let you know, just to be aware of that as well. So when we get to the questions, I want you to ask, what version of ambition am I living from? Is it the old ambition that got you into that corporate role? Is it the ambition from when you were in your 20s? Or is it really what you need to be living in or what you desire to be living in right now? Also ask yourself, what does ambition need from you right now? And that's a tough question. So really sit with that and simmer on that. Like, what does it need for you in this season? What I can tell you for sure it doesn't need is for you sacrificing your health or your well-being to move forward with what you want to achieve. And then lastly, what would ambition look like if it supported my life? Again, that's really getting to the meat and potatoes of, what do you want ambition and achievement to look like for you in this season of your life? Let me know down in the comments some things that kind of brought to the surface for you. If any of this resonates for you, let me know down in the comments. Excuse me, I've had my water here the whole time and I haven't taken a drink. I got going in the conversation. So that's where I'll stop today's conversation. I'm Erica Prevail. Thank you for being here. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, comment below. I share daily conversations for ambitious women, helping them rework their relationship with ambition, capacity, rest, and creativity. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.